Right. Someone already asked for Palantir. Do you see the chat?
Yes, I do. I see the chat.
Okay.
Let's dig in. I'll put my there we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. I'm Samantha LaDuc, founder of LaDucTrading.com. Hit me up with questions. Just do me a favor. Be specific. Like, okay, you're interested in Palantir. What's your time frame? Everyone defines time frame differently. I break it into three parts: chase, swing, or trend. Over here, I have more of kind of the intraday hourly chart for chases. I have a day time frame for swings, and I have a weekly for trend, but I also look at the monthly, very much so. And then I'm combining a whole bunch of other stuff, which is macro backdrop. I do intermarket, I do quant analysis for option flow, as well as a little bit of fundamentals thrown in there as well. But big picture, I need to know what you want to know specifically. So frame it, right? So be specific. What's your time frame? Long or short? Give me a little bit more than what do you think Palantir? Yep, tickers like are not going to help me help you. Be specific with the ticker and the time frame, the direction, and then I can give you a little bit more to it. Okay, Palantir, 6 months. I assume it's a long. Put that in there too, because some people short, right? You got oil on a 15-minute chart. There we go. FXY, 2 weeks. I love this. Perfect. You need to tell ticker, direction, and time frame, and I'm good. All right, so let's talk about Palantir. I'm going to get back all the way down out of the way here. Palantir actually had been a ginormous mover since about $8. I have this over here with some red lines, which is my monthly. I really, really, really like the monthly. And big picture, this has been really in play since about May of 2023. I run a live trading room every morning, so clients can absolutely attest. We had a massive, massive surge in volume that came in back in May of 2023. So this put it in play long before the celebrity CEO became a thing, and then all of the, the mania around AI. So long story short, it took a while to get going. But then last quarter, what I did with Palantir, because this is an open position that is just very, very, very bullish for all kinds of story stock reasons, even though the fundamentals are wackadoodle, like not even a little bit safe. Okay, so now it's extremely extended from 8.5 back in May of 2023, when a gazillion amount of, and you could, it's like 10 million came in on an earnings beat in shares. It was very large. Anyway, long story short, I gave this Palantir price target of $79 for Q1. Sorry, for end of year, and $100 for Q1 of 2025. So did I expect it would be up here? Not really. I have a I have a particular option matrix that I also use that helps me identify where price action is going. In other words, call walls and all that jazz. And that's one of the reasons why I had $79 as a price target into end of year. And it actually did reach a high of 84.80, and then it pulled back. And we got a little digestion here below the 10-week, which anyone who follows me knows that I'm crazy on a trend basis for a close that is staying above the 10-week. And then, of course, we had the most recent earnings, but I actually only had 106 as an overreach for Palantir. So I had 79 for end of the year, and we overshot that to roughly 85. And then I had 100 for Q1, and we overshot that not just to 106, which was my overshoot target, but obviously we're up here in 117. I will tell you that the option flow is still very, very bullish into 126. But I thought we would digest more. So in other words, after we hit this, cherry picked 100, that was easy, overshot to 106. I really thought we would go sideways for a little bit longer. So be very careful on this one. It's extended from the mean. The mean is down here about $84, $85, which means typically when you get extended like this, and it's a beautiful pullback, shallow on the weekly and a breakout higher, it normally will go sideways and then revert. In other words, gives this some time to kind of catch up. So long story short, price target very extended. We get any weakness in the market, of course, this will be one that has a greater chance of pulling back because it's so extended. But big picture, the option flow, shocking as it may sound, as extended as this technically is, and fundamentally as whacked in valuation as it is 126. Okay, so that is as high as I think it's going to get in this quarter. Does that help? Okay, groovy. SMCI, I really think is more of a garbage play. So you'd have to be really, excited about it. I can see for other reasons. I don't know what your time frame is, but this is very, very bullish engulfing. So I did like this, but I was also very much focused on NVIDIA. Right here, I had a short, literally target that clients know about for 113. I said, wait, this after the deep six, drama. And for those who follow me on Twitter know that I wrote a deep dive on deep six a few weeks ago. Anyway, I said, wait until it reaches 113, which is a congruence of weekly support where I said in advance it would be strongly defended, quote unquote. So it did. It literally reached 113.01 and then moved higher, which was a great chase. So my goal for last week, all I wanted was for this to close above 129, which was the prior weekly candle, which would make it a bullish engulfing, which would mean the probabilities are high that it would continue higher into the 10-week digest here. But the point is, semis were back in play. NVIDIA was back in play. SMCI, I don't like it. I know about the delisting and all the drama, and it's, to me, not a safe bet. But it also had a bullish engulfing, and it pushed higher. So you'd have to give me a little bit more time frame idea, but I'm not crazy about this stock. I much prefer to play others in the semi space. MSTR, now strategy, had a very, very large, as you know, explosion higher. And ironically, I had an overshoot of this. This was already sitting here, by the way. This kind of 530 was already sitting there from 2001, happened to hit, come back in, and had a 36% intraday peak to draw on this November explosion. You can kind of see this big, huge But then I said it wouldn't surprise me if it just goes sideways and then gets the energy later to move higher. In order to do a good analysis on MSTR, I also have to show you Bitcoin. So first, let me just kind of show you this exuberance, right? And then that huge 36% intraday peak to trough, and then a pullback. It broke the 21, that's that dotted white. It came down to the 55, looks very much like it wants to come back down in the short term to the 100-day. But big picture, this has been correcting more in time than price. So let me just show you over here in Bitcoin. That's right here. Same thing with Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has been correcting in time, if you look at a swing time frame, much more so than price. It has lost some momentum. This is a momentum indicator underneath. It hasn't really gone anywhere. Same thing I would say with MSTR. Looking for the next liquidity infusion that comes into the market that will bid this up, and likely wouldn't really surprise me too much if we kind of meander up here to this 362, 380 area, and then once we're above 400, it's off to the races again for MSTR. Make sense? All right, let's actually clean that up over here just to kind of see what the exact, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Oh, hold on, I'm making all kinds of messes here. All right, so I don't know SNEX. Capital Markets SNEX. It's a gorgeous chart. Very thin, looks more institutional. You see no lines on it. It means I'm not very active with it. You see Tesla? Oh my God, right? So this SNEX, I would have to look it up, honestly. StoneX Group, Financial Services, Capital Markets Group is absolutely in trend. And I'm going to go completely fresh and show you, since I know nothing about this. Glory be. Since 2015, gorgeous. Has a real, oh my God, it's very extended, but hold on. $84.40. All right, so we're getting a little, parabolic looking. which is good, bad, right? Because melt ups can turn into meltdowns, but it has done nothing wrong. The problem is, and I'm on a monthly right here, you can kind of see where it broke out back here in December of 2023, and it's held that 10-week, but in this case, 10-month brilliantly. And then it pushed again and broke out into all-time highs, literally in October, end of October, November. Maybe this is a little bit more of a Trump related play. I'm not quite sure, but long story short, this thing is in trend. It's getting a little bit more parabolic, so it'd be healthier if it came back, digested, not so much, so that it breaks 106, but holds that area and continues higher. The only problem that I see with this is that it has no options. So you're literally trading stock only. There's no options market. You can't, there's not, it's too thin. You can't even, you know, make the market. It's that thin. So new name for me. Thanks for sharing it. But I would say it's done nothing wrong, except it's getting a little extended. All right, so Palantir I just did. CYREF. Oh, no. CRYFRF. Soul Strategies. You hitting me with another one? I don't know, but I'm going to assume it's in the Bitcoin realm and it's a new issue and it's already started to break the 10. So that's got some digestion going on. Yep, I do not know this one. Another one. Hey, if I know it, I'll tell you. If I don't, I will let you know that too. So this is a nothing. Is it even a SPAC at any point? This is too thin, no options. I would never be interested in this. I'll tell you that right now. Because it has no options. So I can't defend. I can't collar it. I can't play it with alpha or protect in a portfolio. So for me, this would be very, very, very dangerous. Also, it is relatively thin, which means it's easy to move about. And I also don't know about it. But the problem that I have is this evening star reversal. It definitely broke. It did get back above, but it looks like it wants to retest this 1.68. The other problem is it's a low priced play. So I don't like those unless there is a really, really compelling reason to get involved. They're not my cup of tea. Oil on a 15-minute chart. Oh my God, you're hysterical. Okay, fine. Hold on. All right, so here's crude. And this was a fabulous advance into a price target that I had with an overshoot. And then you get, nice Trump coming in, talking down dollar and yields and oil. And also peace is very supportive of taking the inflation premium on the risk in premium out of commodities. So right now that's, a lot to be determined. But for the most part, there are good headlines in that effect. So oil coming back down. Now this is on a daily. So are you talking about crude, for example, or do you have another chart on a 15-minute that you prefer? Because that's funny, like oil. I assume you mean crude. But I have, we got nat gas here. We got the crack spread ETF. We've got gasoline futures, which fired higher and obviously getting rejected. We got ULSD. So, let me know. If you mean crude on a 15-minute, I guess I'll be forced to kind of take a look at. But right now we've got peace in the house. In other words, Trump, Ukraine, all of that. It doesn't mean that he's not going to escalate with Iran this weekend if Hamas does not cooperate on the release of hostages. But long story short, this thing is still petering out and it is not very viable as a long, but the positioning, and I've got an oil trader on my bench, Bob says, and he just trades with the physical, that the positioning is neither long nor short. They're very neutral with a $70, kind of intervention. So if you're looking for something apparently a little bit more, I don't know if you're long or short, but it's got to get back above. Otherwise, you're still in that kind of the throes of peace is bullish bonds. It is bearish oil. And that's pretty much all there's to say about that for right now. FXY. Hey, Thomas, I know you. Okay, so FXY. That had a big, first we got to go to the dollar yen, right? So dollar yen came down into the 200-day, which is that green line, and then did a quick 180. Some of that was also on the not just CPI. CPI obviously caused TLT to roll over bonds and FXY, right? So that's why I'm showing you the dollar yen. That's why I'm showing you TLT. I'm showing you FXY. But it came back down into an area of potential support. This has already risen a good 4 weeks. This is a reversal candle, but it has to continue, right? So if we're going to come and break the 10-week, which is basically 59.80 and FXY, then we would see that next week and the dollar yen would continue higher. I have my doubts, and the reason why is because big picture anyway, because yes, I've written about this, extensively, that this is definitely kind of the peace trade. And we've got a situation right now also with T-bond or T-note, the T-note futures, there it is, where this bond bounce that I wrote up, and this was a very key component of higher yen, higher bonds, hit resistance on cue, right, perfectly, and then got rejected and came right back down to where it broke out. So really, this is a key level for the T-note 10-year. It has to stay above here. And right now we've got the 2-year. This is side by side. It's coming right back down into the same level. So I'm looking right now at this. I've shown this before. I'm sure you've seen this. This 10-year, 2-year yield curve. This is on a weekly. This is on a daily. And long story short, this was September 18th when I wrote time for a yield spike, and then December 12th, also time for a yield spike. We went into a bear steepener. This is a flattener, and then we're starting a steepener again. So this looks bullish. What happens is when this starts to steepen again, you're going to get a bid back in bonds and yen again. So I would say look for this 30 basis point 10 and 2-year yield curve. You need 30 basis points right now. We're only at 27. You need to get it and leave it above so it can make its way back up into 45. That's one way of doing it. Otherwise, you want just FXY, because FXY and bonds will trade a lot together. Then you want this support to hold at the very least 59. Right here would be good, but this is tough, right? We're only Wednesday, but so far this is a bit bearish. And then the dollar yen, you want it to get rejected right here at 154.5, right at that 55. And you want it to start getting weak and start to roll over if you're long the yen. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't know the CYFRF. That's a new one for me. SoFi. Okay, SoFi. It's doing fine, but I really kind of screwed this one up already. So this was a fabulous breakout here on a weekly. I always work from the back, from the largest time frame to the smallest in most cases for swing trades, which is what you're looking at, 3 to 6 months, right? So this already did a phenomenal job, and a client was interested in this, and I just really didn't pay enough attention to this. It was a phenomenal mover, right? It gapped up, which is so bullish. And then once it was above $10, that's it. It really, really, really was in play. It even broke above this, incredibly steep trend line. It did a shake and bake for quite a while, right at resistance, which that happens to be monthly, right? And then, oh my goodness, a complete reversal, big, huge bullish engulfing and follow through with earnings. The problem is this level right here, this 1678 level. I have it in green. It's kind of important because all of this junk that was here for 2021, this huge, ugly kind of wedge, right? This is the mean, and it needs to get and stay above 1678. So right now it's a slog fest of kind of channel surfing, not a real good cup of tea, if truth be told. So right now it's weak. Post earnings, it's come back in. It's very, very uninteresting. We break this 14, we're going to have some weakness. This is a very important level. This is why it got defended so strongly. But then it had kind of a fake breakout and then a fast failure. That was post earnings, even though the earnings were not bad. The point is right now, if you're long, you need it to stay above this 14 area. And if it breaks 14, you need to quickly defend until pretty much this 13 or 1170 area. Mags. By the way, I do this every day for clients for several hours and then write it all up and all that jazz. And I just want to, before I forget, because I was told to do this somewhere in the middle, we have a special that is only for today. If you are interested, Club Quarterly Special, Club-special time offer at LaDucTrading.com. And I'm pretty sure David will put that into the chat if you're interested. All right, so Mag 7. I have a different ratio that I use, but you're looking at this, so why not? This is your August 5th convexity low after the yen carry trade unwind. It got right back in, and this is a trend, right? I love trend trades, especially since you're looking 3 to 6 months. However, this has to get back above 56 for this breakout, right? This kind of bull flag look. Unfortunately, in the near term, we're breaking 55 days, so it's kind of weak. Doesn't mean we can't get back up, right? And NVIDIA earnings in a few weeks, et cetera, et cetera. I'm still bullish NVIDIA and semis. The option flow underneath the surface is still supportive. We have what's called TGA drawdown, which is Treasury General Account, which is also liquidity in the market, is still existing. Doesn't mean we can't have a macro trigger for lots of volatility. This is the year of volatility. But the point is, right now, it has not broken trend. So if you are long, whether it be the Qs, the New York FANG, the MAGs, et cetera, I mean, you still have a potential for this to break out and extend higher. So, but right now we're in a chop fest, right? So here's my Mag 7, just for those who are interested. It's a different formula. I do literally a Mag 7 where I have cap weighted and one where I have net weighted. There it is. And you can also see the same kind of effect, right? This is net weighted and this is cap weighted. So you can see this kind of January 2023 inverse head and shoulders, very bullish into the May 2023 NVIDIA breakout and euphoria, into the November 1st Fed pause and Yellen Yahtzee, which just was hot fire flames. We've had some shake and bake at times, but this trend line is still in play. So your Mag 7 is still in play. We get some weakness in this space, either for macro or NVIDIA disappoints, then we're going to come back down into this trend line. We need to break the trend line to really break the back of Mag 7. And that would, by the way, be helped if we get very strong unemployment or jobless claims starting to trend higher. And then especially if we get above 267,000 jobless claims, oh my, then we're definitely going to have some volatility in concentration risk. Celsius, I don't know if you're long or short. You say swing, but I don't know how you define swing. For me, a chase is, it could be hours to a few days. Swing is usually, a few weeks. It can turn into months. And trend is typically a few months. It can turn into years. Celsius is still in a protracted kind of downtrend. It's also busted the 400 week. For me, the 400 week is kind of a line in the sand. It's dead. So when and if we get back above, let's imagine that it has a shake out, which is loose hands for bulls, assuming this even is, which is hard to imagine because RFK is likely to get passed tomorrow, and Health and Human Services chief is going to have some things to say about the health of some of these, and that's one of the reasons it's been selling off. But the point is, you can get this to reverse higher and get back above this kind of 30, 31 area, you'd have a chance. But right now, no, this trend is busted and it continues to fail and it looks awful. So you need to know something, or it has to do kind of like a fake breakdown and reversal. That's kind of like V-shape, right? So I don't know how else to show it to you except maybe a Coca-Cola. No, that's not enough. No, I don't have one in my mind that I can show you. ARC, no interest, honestly. It's more Tesla, if anything else, and it's very, very sideways. So I'm not so crazy about an ARC short until it breaks 60. Arista, bounce for tomorrow, a 2-day hold. Careful on this one because we had, again, with this deep seek, was that earnings? Nope, that was DeepSeek. Okay, so Arista and all of these kind of data center plays, they got hit hard with a huge gap. So that gap hasn't filled yet. Right now you're on very, it's a little bit dangerous support, which is this 108. But we don't know what earnings will look like in a few days, right? This is the 18th. So earnings will kind of make the weather with Arista, but otherwise it had been doing great, but it's got to get back and fill that gap. So the gap is way the heck up here, about 129, and it's $20 away. So right now this is digesting as investors, they sold first and asked questions later. Goog. No, not right now. That also got hit. Big, huge, massive bearish engulfing. Very likely heads back down to 178, 174, maybe even an overshoot into the 50-week. Once it gets to the 50-week, I bet it gets defended strongly. But right now, no, that one's out of play for a little bit. Comcast long swing to 37.67. That's specific. All right, so this already bounced. Big, huge bearish engulfing, extended, and all this is a bounce. It's not a trend reversal. It's not something I love trends that are moving higher and they're breaking out of all-time highs. Mwah, love those. Not so much the ones that are bouncing just because puts are getting monetized or what have you. So not a safe one, unfortunately. Docu, gorgeous. I can already tell you that is one that we had sized up early, maybe from the last seminar I did here, in fact. We couldn't even find some good options. We had to make the options market in like June. And then it, of course, it had a ginormous parabolic advance, and now it's come back and it's now starting to dissipate. But long story short, you've got better plays in some of the software, the SaaS reacceleration theme over hardware. So 3 months, it hasn't done anything wrong yet. Just you got to give it some, some breathing room here. Defend to the 100-day, which is $83. So it has not broken the trend, but there's no question this is going to be a challenge in this while it kind of goes sideways and digests. I don't know what Lumen, I don't know that name. I know I'm running out of time, so I'm trying to go, nope. At the 200, it's not short in the hole, but there's also nothing there. Hood for earnings tonight. This is, I've got 10 people on my team, and Hood has been a long and strong of Hans. He's also an options mentor and teaches options. He's run funds before, managed funds. This is one of his core holdings, along with Uber, and they're doing awesome. Tesla, I don't have any edge with earnings, zero. Tesla was already a short below this monthly at 392 into 340 with an overshoot to the 21-week, which literally hit and then it bounced. And this morning was actually a little chase. So you have to tell me more about your Tesla timeframe, Terry. It's just way too little information. So chase, swing, trend. You gotta let me know. SPY puts for the next 3 months. And inflation creeping up, but next report could be weak. I am right now, we're in a big, huge slog fest sideways. We need to break out of it definitively, one way or the other. And crude, we're in a range as well. Silver, I really like with gold. Gold and silver are still trending very strongly, but you've got to remember that if we do have that piece, we are going to have softness in the commodity patch, which I'm trying to show you my, there it is. This is my gold silver ratio, and it is gorgeous. In fact, if you follow me on Twitter, you know I said this is the most bullish chart I have. And sure enough, we got above, and this has just been gorgeous. So gold and silver on a trend basis, this is a monthly, are still in play. I like silver right now. It has you're talking about SLV. Yeah, it's got to get above and stay above kind of 29.5. Gold, on the other hand, is digesting right at a fib level. So be careful. I've got a fib level. This is too high right now, of basically 269, 270, where it should see a little bit of digestion. I think that's it.